Hi folks, welcome back to Raakesh iWave Lab at Techno Hub channel for placement training. So in this section, I'm going to continue with Apex Basic. Here we're going to discuss about when developer choose Apex. So when should the developer choose the Apex? Apex is used when we are not able to implement the complex business functionality using the out-of-box functionality. So what does the Salesforce say is that Salesforce says that to use the out-of-box functionality and try to develop the application. If at all you're not able to use this out-of-box functionality, if at all you're not, it is not, what is that? The requirement is not suitable within this out-of-box functionality, then you go for a developer. Then you go for Apex developer. So that case we go for Apex developer. So there, whenever we get a business, whenever we get complex business problems, then we are going to solve it using Apex developer. Got it? How to write Apex code? Apex programming code can be written in several development environments. So we have several IDE. So same way here also we write Apex code using force.com developer console or using force.com IDE or either using Visual Studio. So there are several IDEs are available. Using this IDE, we are going to write the Apex code. Right? Apex code is more or less like a Java coding. Got it? So why force.com developer console is used? Why should we use force.com developer console? So developer console in Salesforce is an integrated development environment. So we have a developer console here inside the force.com. It is integrated with development environment, which provides set of tools and resources that are essential to create, debug, and test your application. It has a lot of resources. The development environment goes with a lot of resources so that you can able to create, you can debug and test the application. Using force.com developer console, we can perform the following tasks. So we can perform certain tasks here. What are that? We can add code using source code editor. Saved triggers and classes will be compiled. Automatically compiling errors will be listed here. Automatically, when you write the code, automatically if at all you have a compiling error, the compiling error will be listed automatically here. And then debug logs can be viewed. Code coverage can be inspected, and we can execute tests to specific classes. For each and every classes, we can write a test class, and data in an organization can be reviewed using the developer console. So using this developer console, right, we can write the code, we can test the code for each and every classes, we can write the test classes, right, and we can inspect so that the code coverage should not go beyond 75%. Got it? So these things we can able to identify, we can able to view, we can test it using force.com developer console. That is why we go for a developer console. How to open the developer console in Salesforce? So already what you do is that you just log into salesforce.com by entering your credentials, then it will take you to setup page. After going to setup page, on the top you can see a gear icon. On the gear icon, you can click on the gear icon, you get a menu. On that menu, you have something called developer console. You can click on the developer console, it will take you to the developer console like this. So it will take you to the developer console like this. Got it? So using this developer console, we are going to write the code and we are going to test it. Right? So with respect to Salesforce developer console, so what is the developer console all about? It is a browser-based developing environment which is used to create, test, and debugging applications in Salesforce organization. Using this developer console, what all we can do? We can able to create, test, or debug the application using the Salesforce organization. Right? Using Salesforce developer console, we can edit and execute SOQL and social queries, all those stuff we can able to execute. We can write triggers, we can write a class, we can implement all OOPS concepts here, everything we can able to do with respect to developer console, and also we can write Visual Force pages, right? Whatnot, we can do everything with respect to programming. For solving your complex queries, we're going to write a code here using Apex programming here, right? Using the developer console, we can do anything, right? So like tools and features in the developer console. What are the tools that we have it? Right, so in the developer console, we have a menu bar like workspaces and logs tab, which contains several items like log, test, checkpoint, query editor, progress, and problem. Right. So now these are the tabs like we have it. Right. So we have the workspaces, this workspace that we have it, right? And then we have a log tab here. This is a log tab, and then we have test, right? And then we have checkpoint, and then we have query editor. So there we can enter our query and we can check the queries, right? And progress and the problem, right? So everything is there here in the we have a menu bar. We have a menu. Similar way, we have a menu bar here, like file menu, edit menu, debug menu, workspace, and help, right? All those stuff we have it as a menu. So we have tabs here at the bottom of the console, and then we have a menu here at the bottom top of the console here, right? Like we have menu bar, like we have file menu, edit menu, debug menu, workspace menu, help menu. All these things are available. So now we'll see, we'll elaborately explain about the tools and features which has been available in the developer console. File menu, with the help of file menu, I can create a new class. I can write an Apex trigger. I can create my Visual Force page, right? I can write my Visual Force components, static processes, and many we can able to do with file menu, save as, right? Open up existing file, all those stuff we can go ahead with the file menu. Whereas coming to edit menu, it is mainly used for editing. We can find the text in the current view, find replace all, searching the files, and fixing the indentation, all those stuff we can do with the edit menu. Whereas coming to debug menu, we can open a new window to enter the Apex code for testing using execute anonymous window. So we are going to have execute anonymous window, and we are going to write the code there. We are going to write our object, right? We are going to create an object for a class, and we are going to call the method which is that the class for all those stuff. We are going to write the code using this execute anonymous window, and can execute the last Apex code. Then we have a workspace. The workspace is a developer console, is a collection of resources represented by tabs in the main panel. So bottom is that we call it as a workspace here. We have a lot of tabs to that. Here we can create new workspaces, can switch workspaces, and can rename the current workspace, and can delete the workspace. So here we can create as many workspaces we wanted. We can switch from one workspace to another workspace, right? We can delete the workspace. We can rename the workspace, right? All those things can be done here. So similar way, like we have help document here, shortcut keys and everything are available here with help, and logs, test and problem panel is there. So this section contains tabs like checkpoint tab, log tab, view state tab, test tab. These tabs are used to access logs in database, examine the view state of the Visual Force to check the Apex code coverage. So using this tab, we are going to check the code coverage, Apex code coverage, right? So now we'll see how to use Salesforce Developer Console. We'll see how to write a Salesforce code, that is Apex code, right? Again, I'll tell you how to get into the Developer Console. So the moment you log into your org or production environment, go and click on the gear icon. The moment you click on gear icon, so you'll get a menu. On the menu at the bottom, after service setup, you have a Developer Console. You're going to click on Developer Console. The moment you click on Developer Console, it opens the menu bar, workspace, and log menu. Using the Developer Console in Salesforce, we can create a Apex class, Apex trigger, Visual Force page, right? Visual component and lightning application, everything we can able to create using this Developer Console. Okay, this is how the Developer Console would be, right? So the moment you go here, you go to click on File menu, click on classes, you give a name for the classes, so that a class template will be created. Inside that, you're going to write a business logic. Got it? The Developer Console will be open with the menu bar, workspace, and log menu. Using this Developer Console, we are going to write all this Apex classes, triggers, and everything. Got it? So now, after doing this, right, how to use Salesforce Developer Console to create a Visual Force page. In case you want to create a Visual Force page, again, what you do, you go to File menu, click on New, and then select Visual Force page. The page will be open, the workspace will be open. There you're going to enter the Visual Force, that is, we're going to enter the Apex tags, you're going to use it, and then you're going to create a Visual Force page. After this code, what happens when we compile? After we type all the code, what happens, right? We should know what happens, right? So when developer writes a code and saves the code in the platform code. In the platform, the code is compiled on course.com platform. So do you open the Developer Console, you write the code there. After writing the code, what happens? Like you're going to execute. You're going to click on execute button using an anonymous window, right? You're going to write some code there, and you're going to execute. You're going to hit on execute button. When you hit on execute button, what happens? So the code is getting compiled. So it is compiled on force.com platform and stores in the form of metadata. It stores in the form of metadata. Right now, see here. Now using this developer console, I'm writing Apex code. So now the uncompiled code of the Apex code is being moved to the application server. So now the application server is going to compile the code here. So, but where is this application server? It is under force.com platform, right? So now it is going to compile the compiled code. So, right, the code is being compiled using the force.com platform, and it is going to store in the form of metadata. So what is metadata? It is data about data. It is going to store in the form of metadata. What happens when the runtime in the Apex, right? What happens in runtime in the Apex? So end user can send a request from user interface or the console and retrieve the result from the Salesforce server, which is stored in the form of metadata. So the end user will try to connect to the application server through the internet. Right? The code will be compiled, right? After compiling, so it is going to respond. It is going to respond from the server, right? So it is going to respond the information. What it is going to respond? It is going to return the metadata, whatever data which is going to be which you expect that will be returned back to the client, right? So this is what happens at the runtime. Got it? So folks, I hope that you understood the concept about how to get into Apex programming and how to use a developer console, what is developer console, and how do you write your code, right? How it is getting executed, all these things you should have understood it, right? So in case if you have any queries, please mail me at info.iwavelab@gmail.com. Please stay tuned and please subscribe to my channel. So or contact me 85507916 or 8142000037. Please stay tuned. So be safe, cool, happy, bye bye.